Hey guys, how you guys doing this evening? This evening I'm right here at work. Came to check out Mary Vagle Nature Center. They tell us not to come here because there's a staff already, but the staff is busy with other things. So I still come by and I always find something. Just kind of relaxing. I like this place a lot too because when I was young, me and my friends would come here. This was one of our hangout spots. Sometimes we'll come here before a big party after school and we'll hang out for a while before the party starts. And this is something I was thinking about, right? Because I'm texting one of my brothers from church in the beginning of the year. He texted me, right? And, I really felt like Jesus was calling me back, right? Jesus was calling me back. Last year, I fell into a bit of some strongholds that were based on lies, right? And this is something that's a lie. One thing that the enemy always wants to do is make us believe that our loving Father is critical, that he's harsh, that he's um, extra disciplinary, that he's that that he wants to. The enemy wants to emulate like everything how he sees the world, and he wants us to look at our God like that. But our God is not like that. That's not true. Our God is kind. Our God is merciful. Our God helps us and will do anything to save us. And one thing that's not okay, regardless of what's going on with you, it's not okay to attack your brothers. That's not okay because everybody goes through problems in life, and nothing gives you the right to do that. Nothing at all. And it's not okay. It's not okay to make that okay. It's not okay to make it a practice. It's not okay to make it an excuse. It's not okay to continually do it because of how you feel about your life. You know, there's a lot of us that have gone through that already, and we don't take things so lightly. One thing I always try to emphasize is trying to obey and learn the easy way, even regardless of how it feels, right? Or even what you might be thinking. Sometimes we're not even really too too sure, right? We don't understand. We don't understand. And so we just respond based on our emotions. Yeah, it's true. The enemy does attack our flesh. That's one thing he does. He attacks our flesh. That's true. And it's a dirty game. But we have to learn how to stand our ground and war in the spirit. Uh, One thing I was sharing with some of my church members yesterday was that it's funny because since I started working for Fontana, I've been always looking at the pay. The pay is low. And today I was like, you know what? This is a step up for me, especially from my background and where I'm coming from. This is a big step up. And that's how I want to stay. I want to keep going up. I want to keep going up. One thing that I was sharing was like with my brother from church was we were texting back and forth, and I was just sharing to him how certain things are, and I was trying to tell him about a lot of things that go on, and I'm like, you know what? Regardless of what we might believe, one thing that I noticed about this city is that there's a lot of people that are just naturally good. And so I told him, I was like, you know what I'm realizing about myself? That I'm a little bit proud. And honestly, to be honest, I'm pretty mediocre at what I do, regardless of what I might believe about myself. And I'm like, there's people that do it so naturally without even giving it thought. And it's because, one thing that our pastor was sharing is like, you're either going to become a children of God or a child of the devil, a children of the wicked one. There's no really, um, it's not very hard to distinguish between the two. And so one thing that I keep telling them, I'm like, look, you're either gonna make a choice on your life and stand your ground Because if you're just always in between, you're never really getting anything done. You really aren't. You're really never getting anything done. And you might become comfortable, but that's actually a very dangerous thing, because one day, you know, God's going to look at you, the real you. God's going to look at the real you, and not the way the world sees you. He's going to look at you how he sees you, the real you. He's going to take account for the real you. And he's going to say, this is an unfruitful servant. That's what he's going to look at. And he's gonna demote you instead of promote you. One thing that God always tries to do with us is promote us. Look at my servant. He is good. Look at how good he is. He puts you in the spotlight, and he wants to bring you up, not bring you down. But there is a real you. There's a real you that one day God will look at the account, and he will say, "This is an unfruitful servant." And he's gonna find out why. Why is this servant so unfruitful? What's wrong? What's wrong here? Is it a lie or is it true? And that's a real thing. That's a real thing that happens for all of us, the children of God. And you know, I'm just saying that because we have to acknowledge the error of our ways for what it really is. If it's not okay, there's no way that we can continue that and call each other brothers and sisters. Another thing too is just focusing on other people. You're allowing other people to get you out of your way. Other people get you out of your way. Other people make you go this way or that way. They steer you wherever you go. But it's because you've been following the devil's lead. And that's what the devil's lead will always lead to. Temporary pleasure, but eternal unhappiness. Eternity, an eternal separation from God. That's what he does. He offers you a temporary pleasure, and then he gives you an eternity without God. And in that eternity, what's going to happen? You're going to remain in your cycle. You're going to remain, and in that cycle, you're never going to be able to see the error of your ways. You're going to blame everyone around you. It's everyone around me. It's everyone around me. It's not me. It's not me. And you never really take into consideration the choices that you're making, because you don't find it a big deal. Why? Because it's not at the surface. It's so deep. It's so deep in your mind. The choices that you make are so deep within you, within your character and within your nature, that you don't even really realize what you are doing. To you, it's insignificant because it doesn't stand out as glamorous or as something that you would find important. But it's more important than you would ever really believe. One time I was stuck in really bad cycles, when I was younger. I grew up pretty without direction, and all I cared about was having fun. That was the most important thing of my life, having fun. And now that I'm 34, of course, once your mind matures, you're like, there was way more to life than having fun. There's way more to life than just partying with your friends. And some people are worse than they realize. I'm like, you're a lot worse than you believe. Like I said, the world might look at you one way because you're dressed nice or you have nice things, but there's a real you, and God is keeping account for the real you. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.